and welcome to Abundantly Purposeful, our YouTube channel where there is a life coach and a wealth planner, and we come together to share what we've learned about life and also where we're growing ourselves in life. And we've been talking this month mostly about risk and play and jumping out into new things and different things and challenging ourselves. And this episode, we want to talk about reward. So we want to talk about how do we set up those rewards for ourselves so that when we are stepping out in new things, there's some sort of progression that's going on before we get to our ultimate goal. So my name is Kristyn Cozad, and I am life coach and purpose coach and owner of Illuminating Purpose.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shelly Schell, and I'm a financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst, and excited to be here. And I just love the connection always and the conversations with Kristyn because, of course, as we talk about a life coach and a financial planner, we bring such balance, and I learned so much to just open myself up to thinking about things differently through the lens of Kristyn's perspective as a coach. And this topic, these topics this month, the play, the let loose, the enjoy, the risk, what does risk really mean? And then reward. I mean, reward is so interesting because for me, Kristyn, and I know we talked about this before, is I don't think I really stopped to give myself little rewards that remind me not to take things so seriously, or to give myself a chance to, I want to say, reward myself for what I've been doing right, or what I've been doing that's been hard or good, or, you know what I mean, along the way. That's not something that's normal for me to do for myself.
Yeah. And is that word sort of like appreciation
That's
for what you're learning and growing in, and really acknowledging that, wow, 2 months ago, that thing that I started really wasn't easy for me. And now I get this great reward. Or it really is that sense of gratitude. And I think gratitude will always expand any good thing in our life the more we're grateful for it. And that really is the idea that reward really gives us, right? It gives us that celebration. And that, it really ties into that sense of play because it's that celebration of life and the idea that we might want to do really big things in our life, or we might have really hard things going on with our families that we need to do, or with our health or with our money. But to have those little signposts to kind of keep us going, it really is a great motivator just in general. And really celebrating life, I mean, that encourages us to take new and different risks and get new and different rewards.
So you use the word appreciation, and I think that, like, that light bulb for me, that's a great word, because think about reward, but use that to appreciate what you're doing right along the path is pretty amazing. I've never thought about it like that. And if I think about, when it relates to money, a reward, for example, we measure risk with returns kind of thing. And people will look at portfolio returns versus benchmarks as, am I beating the benchmark as a reward, for example? And it's pretty specific and definable, but how does that relate back to the goals we have for ourselves, right? So a benchmark for ourselves, our goals, how do we really step back and appreciate all the things that we're doing to better ourselves and to push ourselves beyond our comfort level? And I just love that word appreciate, and little things you do for yourself to appreciate yourselves. And what are some things is there any things that you can think of that you recommend or that you do as little rewards? I mean, I'm trying to think about the things I do, so that's why I'm putting it back on you, because I'm like, what do I do to reward myself? What do I do to appreciate myself?
Oh gosh, it can be any number of things. And I think for our viewers, it could be just as varied. It could be getting a pedicure or getting a facial. I started a new health goal for myself. So my first benchmark, Shelly, is getting a facial and rewarding myself that way, because it's not something that I remember to take the time to do or will naturally do. And yet at the same time, I love the woman who does them, and I love to connect with her, and I love to help her in her own business. So those are the kinds of things for me, or even, just enjoying sitting out in my backyard and taking a minute away from my phone. Honestly, that has been recently, I feel like I've spent so much time connected to my phone that has been a little reward for me, even on a daily basis, is just to kind of get a little bit quiet. It just feels really good. Um, Spending time with friends, like really sharing as part of the reward too, is sharing what you're doing and how far you've come and what you've done and what you've learned. And I think that really, I think for us women especially, but no, I take that back. Human beings in general, we can be very hard on ourselves, and we can see what we're not doing right, and we can see what we need to change, and we can see, and that really is what has started us on the path of whatever goal we have, right? That's rooted in, what do I need to change? What do I need to do differently? And who do I want to be? And this is a way of acknowledging the work that we're putting in and focusing on the positive and focusing on where we've come and what we've done to start to build that character that we're looking to have, or that job, or any area of life that we're growing in.
I love that. So, and thank you for taking that and running with it. So, I will say my rewards are little things like taking time for myself, as you mentioned, the facial. But I think for me, it's really about just quiet time.
Mhm.
And yes, unplugging from technology and everything, and just having time with myself, and also laughing and having just music that just takes my mind to a different place. Like that's a big thing. It's getting out of my own head, right? Like you said, being around friends and community and things like that, and sharing, that's a big thing. But just lightening it up a little, and that's what we can reward ourselves with. And seriously, to the point about money, like sometimes we're so serious around money, right? Like such a serious topic, and it makes us fearful and anxious, and nobody wants to talk about it. And instead of sharing about some experiences we have around money that may not be the greatest, but they're not horrible either, but they're sharing, that makes us lighten up about it and feel like we're not alone again. And it doesn't have to be so serious, right? Little rewards that get you out of your head.
Right. And out of that heaviness of whatever that thing is that I have to do, what do I get to do after I do the thing that I need to do?
Yeah.
I think that's a really, and you can look at rewards. I mean, you can make that a daily thing or a monthly thing, or like you said, a benchmark to something, an intermittent goal, like an intermittent benchmark to a goal, bigger goal that you have. But whatever it looks like for you, again, just play with it, just see what it looks like in your life, and how you can start to reward yourself in the ways that you are moving forward toward the person in the life that you're wanting to create. So my challenge for people would be to, this is something that I do in my phone sometimes, and I'll start a list. I'm a list maker. I don't know if you do the Enneagram, Shelly, but I'm an Enneagram 7. And so I make lists and then I never look at them again. No, but this I do. But to really, to have an idea, like Shelly and I have a sort of a running list of ideas of topics that we've thought about throughout our time together, of things that we want to speak with and share with you and share our experiences about. So we have an ongoing list. And so it's easier to bring things to mind when we start our conversations of what we really want to talk about. And we just try to find something that's applicable to where we are. So my challenge to people is to start a list in your phone, or a list in a notebook that you take everywhere you go, or something that you see consistently, and start that list of rewards and what that would look like. Does it look like a weekend away? Does it look like a long drive with great music and snacks, road snacks like Cheetos?
Yeah.
Does it look like, does it look like time with your friends, or having, bringing your friends around the table and getting together and sharing a meal and sharing your lives? And what are some of the ideas of rewards? Maybe if you're a mom and you have kids and a lot of your life is taken up with what their needs are, maybe it looks like being able to find a babysitter and tune out for a little bit. and take care of yourself. Maybe it looks like investing in a great book and learning something, or reading an amazing story and just escaping a little bit. Whatever that is, just create a running list of so many different rewards, because something different will feel good in different seasons and at different times, and will be more applicable to different goals that you have. So that's my challenge for people, is to start that running list and keep it somewhere handy where you can refer to it.
That's a great tip. I'm going to use that one myself. And also keep it handy, because what I was thinking when you were saying that is sometimes like you want to give yourself a reward. And then I'm like, what does that mean? And if I can refer back to a list that has so many different items on it, that maybe it's something little that I can just do and pick up with like that day or something. That's so great. I love that. So my takeaway today would be, when we're thinking about rewards when it comes to money, it's just the simple things like when you think about your money, and you just kind of have ignored it or haven't paid attention for a while, just the simple task of opening up in a statement and looking at what you have in your bank account or in your investments, and just taking the time to spend maybe 5 minutes with it, and you haven't done that in months, that would be just a simple reward that you could be proud of yourself for doing that, and just know that it doesn't have to feel daunting or overwhelming. It's just a simple task. And I know that may not sound like a reward. You're probably looking at me like, well, for a lot of people, that's not a reward. But just the pure idea of doing something active with your money, when you haven't done it in a long time, can actually lighten the load of stress around, oh my gosh, I need to do that, but I haven't. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Thank you all for joining us. It's been great. Pleasure, as always, with Kristyn. I always learn so much on our calls, and hopefully you'll subscribe to our channel. We really look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.